Hi guys, I just wanted to jump on here really quickly and do a flip through of The Good and the Beautiful's Level K course book, Language Arts Curriculum. This comes with the course book as seen here. I've printed it out from their downloadable version online. You can also order this printed and have it just shipped to your home. Comes with the course book, the Level K reader. It comes with Phonics cards. So these are perforated on kind of thicker, sort of glossy cardstock. They're perforated for you to make flashcards for your child, and you do a few every week or a few with every lesson. And then it also comes with quite a few mini books, as they call them. And you could just cut this out. This is on, these I did order printed. So these came from the company. I did not print these. The mini books came from the company. I did not print these. I simply printed the course book and the reader. The mini books are also on just slightly, actually I would say it's not even thick paper. It's just regular paper, but it's glossy. And you cut these out, staple them quickly, and they're little mini books that correspond to each lesson, or to almost every lesson. A few of the lessons, especially as you get further into the curriculum, don't utilize the mini books. Instead, they tell you to go ahead and read from the reader. All right, so let's take a look at the course book. I store in the front of my binder, I store my phonics cards that my child has mastered, as well as the mini books we're finished with, and our old sight words. Okay. So course book, Level K, second edition. Here we go, the Level K at a glance. The topics covered real briefly, they go over them. I'm not going to read all of these to you, but there's definitely good topics covered here. I would say I'm impressed with it. My child was a bit of an apprehensive reader, and he is blossoming with this curriculum. He is a kindergartner. Okay. If you are unsure where your child would be with the Good and the Beautiful curriculum, there are assessments on their website you can give to your child to determine what level they should enter into. So they go into a table of contents. The curriculum brings 47 lessons. Okay, hopefully you can get a good idea of that. Now, the About the Course is extremely informative. I'm a first-time, this is my first year homeschooling my child. I'm homeschooling my oldest. He is 6. I have 3 other younger children. I am learning as we go. So this was very helpful for me. I will say it's definitely working, guys. I mean, my kiddo went from barely being able to read consonant, vowel, consonant words in July before we started to just being able to pick up a book and read, and we're in February. So, I mean, I am happy. All right. As you can see here, these are the items needed for the course. Just as I mentioned at the beginning, went over everything that it comes with. You need the course book. You need the phonics cards, the mini books, and the reader. Okay. I actually don't have a letter tiles app. I have letter magnets that we use, and then we do have a whiteboard. Okay. Every single day, what they want you to do, as you can see, is work on the course with your kid for 20 to 30 minutes. You can break it up. You can do it all at once. Know your own child. And then also every day, you're supposed to work on spelling words, sight words, phonics cards, and they also recommend poetry memorization. Okay. It's not, I would say it is challenging for the child. So in order to start this with a young kid, I definitely think your kiddo has to have a good attention span and has to be willing and wanting to sit down and do book work. If your kid's not there, I don't think this will work out that well, but if your child is there in terms of being able to sit and do some work, I actually think this is great. Okay, so that's what the curriculum recommends you work on every day. They also, I think I mentioned, they also recommend poetry memorization, so we do a little bit of that as well. And that's just the final page of, they give you some tips on how to make this work when you have other children in the house. work on dictation. I'll just give you lots of tips. All right, and then they list out the mini books that the book comes with. Okay, at the beginning of the course, and they say before you start, you need to administer the assessment to make sure your child basically knows the letter names and the letter sounds. Okay, they say go ahead and do this with your child until they have mastered this list, because there is no reason to start such a difficult or challenging curriculum if your kid does not know the letter names and sounds. That's just, I mean, that's basic. So I think it makes a lot of sense. My child, though he was an apprehensive reader, he definitely came in knowing his letter sounds as well as the letter names. So we went ahead and started. And, you know, like I said, we're enjoying it. Okay. This page gives you a little bit of information on the phonics cards, which are these yellow cards. Now, this list that you see, they start out much simpler than this. As you can see, these are numbered into the hundreds right now. We started at number 1. So they start out very simple, and I believe that my child is finished with all of the phonics cards that they recommend this book kind of work with. So they add in some extras. These are extras. I mean, we're getting through them, but they're not necessarily representative of what you start with or anything. Your kiddo doesn't need to be reading like fudge and stuff right off the bat. So you start with numbers 1 through 18 they recommend, then 19 through 37, and then you go into 38 to 58. They give you really, really in-depth instructions on exactly how to practice these. You know, start with 1 through 18, and you should have 3 baggies, they say. One that says mastered, one that says learning, one that says not yet learned, and you work through those. You can go slowly, add in, you know, do 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 a week, however many will work for your child. Okay, so you go ahead and do some phonics flashcards every day. I don't have, you know, they recommend to have your child color these in as you kind of move through them. I actually didn't have my son do that. So same with sight words. As you work through them, you can color them in. We haven't done that, but we have worked through all of the sight words. So they give you excuse me, quite a few sight words here. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 27 groups of 4. So well over 100 sight words that they recommend. And like we are done with them. Now we're just going back and reviewing, and I'll probably find some new sight words for my son. So there's that, and then there's spelling words as well. So there's a spelling list. Like I said, this is time intensive. I would say it's 45 minutes at least every day. Here we go with the spelling words. They have, I think, 4 charts of words. Yep. Chart 1, chart 2 over here. So they start pretty simple. And then chart 3 and chart 4 get a bit more difficult. You can see how far we are. Yeah, we're partially through chart 3. So that's what this looks like here. And I don't know exactly what this curriculum recommends, but what I do is we do 5 words a week. That seemed to be good for my child. I think we probably could have done more on certain weeks, and then some words were just more challenging, so the 5 was appropriate. But whatever, we just do 5 every week. He has a test on Friday, and it's real low-key, but he thinks it's a big deal, so it's fun for him, and it's not stressful. It's just a little test, and if he misses a word, we do redo it. Oh, I forgot to cross off 4. Okay, well, anyway, there's that. And then this is the poetry memorization sheet. They give you some poems to memorize, or of course you can do whatever you want and just choose your own, but these are some options they give, and we've done 2 so far, and then we're working on our 3rd one. So it just has you write down the poems that your kiddo memorized and recited, and to whom they recited them to. To who they recited them to. Oh gosh. Okay, so anyway, these are some poem options. Some of them are quite long. I mean, we did not do these long ones, but if your child wants to, have at it, you know. All right, I will say that I didn't think that poetry memorization was important, and I still don't think it's totally necessary, but I will say it is a neat skill, and my child took a lot of pride in memorizing those poems, so that was fun to see. All right, so the very first lesson started off with vowels and consonants, short and long vowels, and that's where it started, and then it goes from there. I'll kind of do, I'll pick another lesson. Okay, lesson number 6 was consonant ending blends. So words like best and soft. Okay. And then, oh, that's some of our work. Let's see, it's another one. Let's go a little further. All right, lesson 17 got into nouns, and I believe the next lesson was verbs. So here we go into nouns, and because this is a literature-based curriculum, or a language arts curriculum, I'm sorry, there is a lot of there is some art appreciation mixed in too, and there's just some other topics covered. Here we do a little bit of map work, or there's some introduction of some states. It's just, it dabbles in other subjects, which is nice. Always nice to see. Okay, here, like for example, here, number 30 is artwork, and we just finished this lesson this week, and my son completed a picture. He did a painting, so that was fun. He really enjoyed that, and it was pretty cool. And then I don't even know let's see what the last lesson is. One of the last ones. Here's lesson 4, categories. Okay, so that's learning how to group things that are like into categories, and then and then I have some reading assessments at the end. Phonogram preview AR. More narration. Okay, that's interesting. So we haven't gotten this far, but you can kind of get a good grasp. Let's go back and take a look at some of the more hardcore phonics lessons. Got simple words. Got AY words. We've got ED and ING endings. So there's lots in here. I would say, honestly, I would definitely recommend it. You know that it's time intensive, but you can also play with it if you want, and maybe customize it to your own child. I don't know. We have pretty much followed the rules of this curriculum to a T, mostly because I'm new to this, and I'm hesitant to kind of make up my own stuff for core subjects like language arts or phonics. I was basically teaching my child how to read this year, and I would say this worked. Absolutely, it worked. Let me take a look at the reader now with you. Here's the reader. The pictures are pretty. I printed it in color. This is a Christian curriculum, and I believe it is Mormon, or written by a Mormon. However, there is nothing in here that is anything other than just Christian. I am not Mormon. There's nothing in here that bothers me in the least, frankly. So just thought I'd throw that in there too. Okay, so this is the reader. Table of contents here. Just the story. So you can see, they tell you when you're able to start reading this. It's somewhere in the middle of the course book. They tell you to come in and start reading some of these stories instead of just doing the mini books. So at whatever point that is, we started in on these little short stories. So they're real basic, they're cute. Real simple stuff here. Okay. And they do get harder as you go. But to be completely honest, these stories in the reader, in my opinion, are a lot easier than some of the mini books. So I found that kind of interesting. All right. Okay, so this is so here's as you can see, like I said, it is a Christian curriculum. There's a lot of reference to God, to Jesus, to God's creation. All right. It does get more challenging as you go. and so on. So that is everything, guys. I hope this is helpful for somebody. I would definitely check it out. It's also extremely affordable, and I'm not sure if it's still on there. But when I went to purchase this over the summer, so I think I bought it last July, the level 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5, I believe, were actually available for a free download, which is crazy. So if you're interested, go check it out and see, if it might work for you. All right, thanks for watching.